Video coverage of M2M Evolution Conference and Expo is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.
All right, hey, I'm Dane Whitbeck. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Meshify. And like pretty much everybody here, I'm very excited about these 50 billion devices coming online. Also very excited about the fact that 50 million applications are estimated to be needed to monitor and control these devices. So we're Meshify, and like a lot of platforms here, we want to make it extremely easy to get web and mobile presence on, for your brand to monitor and control devices. So I'm preaching to the choir here, so I won't spend a lot of time talking about that. But a lot of people here have shown some great user interfaces, and we're going to do that as well and show you our software. But I think the thing that everyone here isn't saying is that there's always a step that is time-consuming in building an M2M application. And that step is the hardware integration. It always takes time. It's always a headache. It requires meetings and the like. And as an engineer, I want to get things done and not go to as many meetings. So we ended up building a piece of hardware. And we call these devices our M1 devices. And there's 3 flavors: the M1 Spider, the M1 Fly, and the M1 Dragonfly. The M1 Spider, as the name sort of implies, builds a mesh network out of the box, a web. It's powered by Rayco, as John mentioned. So it's connected on cellular. It's actually also can be connected through Wi-Fi or Ethernet. Has GPS included. It is a mesh network coordinator, but unlike other gateways in the space, we actually built it to do something as well as just be a communication piece. So it's got serial ports, switches, DIOs, ADCs directly on the device. It's also got battery backup, and of course 100% cloud managed through the Meshify software platform, which we'll get to in a minute. So the M1 Fly, as the name suggests, is caught in the Spider's web. It doesn't connect directly to the internet. It connects over the mesh network to the Spider and provides data again on whatever device it's connected to. So this can be a mesh network router or end node. It can actually be a sleeping end node and can be powered by its included rechargeable battery pack and can last up to 2 years depending on how many data reads you need. It's 100% cloud managed again through the Meshify backend. So the Dragonfly is a connectivity device just like the Spider, although it does not create a mesh network. It's meant for that one piece of equipment that just needs to be connected to the internet, and you need to get the data off of it, send remote control commands to it, all through the cloud. So this device is for that singular purpose. So this clearly works, and as you'd expect, these things connect back to our Meshify scalable, secure cloud infrastructure. And we also go the extra mile and don't just provide you an API to the device like a lot of companies do, but rather we give you the entire user experience that you can actually customize for your needs yourself. So if you don't want to use an M1 device, that's okay. You can use us as an API as well. Just want to bring up, we do have devices deployed that are not built with the M1 devices. So if anyone's building a device already on Ethereos or even with Xively data streams, we like to work and play in the ecosystem with other people as well. So with that, I'm going to jump in and show you more of the software side, so more of the software as a service offering that we also provide. And I'm going to do that. One second. Maybe.
Looks like that projector can use a mesh network to your computer.
I know. We did do
For a wireless conference, right?
Yes, I know.
I'll try extend.
No, you want to.
There we go. Okay, so one of our customers we're going to sort of highlight today is a company called Mistaway, and they build a mosquito misting system that actually delivers insecticide to a home or yard or hotel. And so as you'd expect, they want to know things like, when is the tank empty? When is this device thrown in error? When has there been a leak in the line, so that it can be better managed. So if you look at this map, this would actually be all of the OEM's devices in the whole country. And if you're actually a dealer for the OEM, you have your own login access, and you can come into a geographic area like down here in Florida, and of course click through and see what's going on with the devices that are locally at this location. So this particular person has a whole bunch of mosquito misting systems on their property. They really, really hate bugs. They actually go through a 55-gallon drum of chemical every 2 weeks. 9 of them, actually. So anyways, you can see here, you can mouse over and get several errors on the system. A lot of these systems are actually winterized, so a lot of them are not really being actively used, but just as a demonstration purpose. So you can come through, click through, and sort of get all the details of what's going on at this device. The connectivity, there's about 150 different variables that are all controlled completely through the Meshify platform. And you can do things like sync all the data directly through here. So this looks like it's custom built for Mistaway, including everything down to things like the actual filters that you can search through, like custom grouping and actually searching for different firmware types for them. So they have actually different firmware types of their device, and you can search through those for them. You can search through the different status of the devices right here. It all looks very customized for them. But really, getting an application done like this for a completely different vertical market is really quick. So let me jump in and see if we can look at a blank application. So this would be like a blank slate. You can see it looks similar, but it's got a similar theme, and we can actually change the entire theme if you want it to look differently. But we find a lot of people find this theme pretty useful. So just for demonstration purposes, this is like a blanked out canvas that you can then color in with your particular use case. So you would come in and actually define different node types. Node types are what we call the actual pieces of hardware. You would define different channels, which is basically as these, if you're using an M1 device, the different serial ports and everything can produce different channels of data, which can be integers, floating point numbers, strings, any number of things. And then the thing that's really cool, since I'm running out of time here, is you can actually come in and build your user interface directly in the back end. No IDE is required, no downloads. You can actually come in here and just edit HTML. And we have some simple documentation that explains how to tie in with our API. And you can just write HTML that does things like send a command to the device, or pull an entire graph of data in, or pull an entire table of data in to show to your users. So you can create a whole bunch of different templates here in HTML, and through low technical skill, build out the entire platform really quickly. So just as an example, we had a customer in agriculture call us on a Wednesday, and they were starting a trade show on a Monday. And we did the entire application for them in 12 hours. That's total engineering time, not like 10 people 12 hours, like literal 12 hours. And had their entire application running. They sold 6 complete agriculture systems the next week at the trade show. So that's the speed and power of the system, especially when you go to the level of building your own hardware. Really, really quick applications can be built. Building energy management, oil and gas shutdown wells, tank level sensors. We have a whole myriad of device types that are already using Meshify, and we're excited to be here finding more partners and customers at this conference. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Video coverage of M2M Evolution Conference and Expo is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.